Is Draxix Dude here, and I wanted to talk about Obliteration. Yes, Obliteration. This is a game mode from Battlefield 4. A very underrated game mode. Surprisingly enough, of course, there was only 2 game modes on the PS4 playing Obliteration, even though we've still got a decent fan base on the game. Surprisingly enough, this game mode wasn't as hoped for, or wasn't as good as everybody hoped it would be. 32-man game modes are usually unless they're rush. So basically, during this, it was downright average. And yes, I know what people might be thinking, average, like, This was your run-of-the-mill, backwards-ass game mode that they usually come out with. They've always had something different, and this was basically Obliteration in a nutshell. It gave a different aspect, or a different look on the genre, maybe? It was very well advertised. Like, it was a thing that that DICE was trying to make a top-of-the-line game mode. I guess it wasn't really recepted well. There was a reason. There's reasons why it didn't stick as long as Conquest or Rush. It just wasn't the game mode to end all game modes. It just doesn't fit well with the Battlefield franchise, and that's ultimately why it failed. Why did Obliteration why was it just average? Why couldn't we just accept it for what it was, and it was a decent game mode? No, it wasn't. It was never a decent game mode. It was a subpar game mode that was added into the game to give it a lot more life. That's basically what this game mode is, or was in a nutshell. And to be honest, it just wasn't right. It just didn't work. The gameplay mechanics were wrong. It just didn't stick well with the franchise, and it didn't stick well with the community, and it wasn't a game mode that people loved. And in this game, in this day and age, you gotta have game modes that people will enjoy. It's a part of the multiplayer. Every game now is realizing that multiplayer is definitely a big part of the game's success rate. The better the multiplayer, the better the game. And to be honest, there's certain games that multiplayer isn't really needed due to it having decent storylines and other added information or anything to that extent. You gotta have a decent multiplayer, and with just Conquest and Rush, I don't know how Battlefield's gonna continue this well into the future. Because you gotta have different game modes. That's obvious. You need to have a set number of decent game modes. Like, they tried to bring back League play with Diffuse. They never really had League play, but I think Diffuse was another one of those failed game modes. But we gotta remember Obliteration for what it was. Obliteration wasn't as well received as a lot of game modes in the Battlefield franchise. Like I said, Conquest Large, Rush, etc. Why was this game so bad? I mean, why was this game mode so bad to people? Like, why did people not want to play this game as much as other game modes? It just didn't. I personally have no idea. I think it just didn't stick well. It didn't work. It definitely didn't run well with the Frostbite engine. I think that, coupled with the success rate of the start of the game, was average to say the least. It just didn't. The mechanics were garbage. They definitely screwed up the release of the game, and with them hyping up this game mode, this Obliteration game mode, it kind of got taken away with it. Conquest, you remember Conquest from Battlefield 3, Bad Company 2, etc. You remember Rush from those game modes as well. And you've already got a good taste in your mouth. But with the whole Battlefield 4 and it just starting out with Battlefield 4, you already had that bad taste in your mouth. And the game mode wasn't bad. The whole idea of the game was actually quite good. For a Battlefield game mode to say that was decent or downright good is a little bit different. Like, any game mode was respectable in its own right. But to be honest, I think Obliteration was definitely underrated and it could have been more. Tell me what you guys think about Obliteration in the comment section down below, and I will see you guys in the next one.